Hey everyone, welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through how to group and aggregate data. I'll show this using the same dataset that we've been using in previous videos. So in the previous video, we used the dplyr library. So let's go ahead and bring that in. And then let's read in our data frame. So I'm just going to copy and paste the read.csv action that we did in the previous video. So come here, open up the previous file, copy, paste here, and then since we changed the name of the file or name of the folder, I'm going to go ahead and change this to group and aggregate data in R. We run that, and let's open it up. So here we are, and from the previous videos, this is the table that we've been working with. So patient ID, name, age, arrival date, departure date, service, and satisfaction. So notice how there are patients who are in the same category of service. So for example, these top two, Richard Rodriguez and Shannon Walker, are both in surgery. So what if we wanted to know the average satisfaction rate in each of the services? So let's go to our code and see how we can get this done. So just like in the last lesson, we're going to incorporate the pipe operator. So if we go df pipe, we can do a function called group by. So we could do group by, and then you put in the column that you want to group by. So in this scenario, we're going to put service, and then put another pipe operator, and you want to figure out the number of times that it shows up per service. So what we can do is we can do this summarize function and put n open and close parentheses. When we run that, here in the console, we get the output of the counts for each of the services. So ICU, it shows up 241 times, emergency 263, and so forth. So you'll notice that in this column, the name here is n open and close parentheses. So to prevent that, and if you put it in a data frame, that's actually going to show up as the column, so as the column name. So we don't really want that. To get rid of that, we can do something like this, and you can replace that count with whatever you want, but we put count is equal to n parentheses, and if we run that, that's going to show up as the name of the column. So that's what we want. And like I said before, we could change that name to whatever we want. So besides the count, we can look at the average satisfaction rate. So we want to see the average satisfaction rate for each service. So what we can do, I just copied and pasted the previous line of code, and instead of this summarize count equals n, I'm going to put in mean satisfaction, and that's going to get our average satisfaction. Okay, so it gives us the service, and it gives us the average satisfaction for each of those services. So, it's also important to know how many instances there are in each service. So even though we know that our data is well distributed based on what we saw here in the count, there could be a case where there can be a way greater or smaller amount of instances of, let's say, ICU compared to emergency. So we can actually add columns to the pipe operator. So we can add stuff to this. If we put a comma here after the mean, we could add our count is equal to n. And if we run that, we're going to get another column here with count. And, like previously, we could change the name of the column, so it's not just going to say mean satisfaction right here. So what we could do, we could write average underscore satisfaction is equal to mean satisfaction. And when we run that, there we go. It's going to be a new name for the column. So we could also find out the maximum satisfaction, and we can keep adding to this. So we can write max satisfaction, and for each of the services, it's 99 for all of them. We can find the minimum, which you guessed it, min satisfaction, and our minimum is going to be 60 for all of them. And we can also find the median. And there we go. Our median, it's going to be a little bit different, 81, 80, 70, 80. So the median can actually be helpful in analysis because taking the mean doesn't always give you a good picture of what's going on. Our current example doesn't necessarily show, since the scale is from 0 to 100 for satisfaction, but let's just say we're given a metric like salary, and we're trying to see the average or the median salary. There can be a data point where one individual can be making way less or way more than the average, and it's gonna very much skew the data in one direction or the other. So that's why it's important to figure out the mean and the median in all of our data sets. So that's how we group and aggregate data. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.